So today we're going to try something new and see whether or not this actually works. And what we're going to do is we're going to try with Catullus poem 116, the last poem in our list of all of our Catullan poems. This is a poem that's sort of reminiscent of 30. It's kind of got this question of friendship, maybe friendship gone wrong. There are other instances where this man Gellius shows up, but there's not too much of this that we've seen, other than maybe 65 or 68, one of those two. So what we're going to do is we'll work our way through this. This is the last of our elegiac couplets. Follows the same metrical pattern as all the other ones we've been reading this quarter for the most part. So we'll just begin at the beginning, where we usually do. Saepe tibi studios animo venante requierens, carminuti possem mittere batiadae, qui te lenirem nobis neo conandarere, tel infesta meterin usque caput, unque reo mihi nunc frustra sunt esse laboro, geli nec nostras equaluisse preces, contra nos teles tua tuid vitabimus amisa, at fixus nostris tudabis supplicium. So, per the usual, start at the beginning. So, Saipe, often, tibi, to you, for you, some kind of dative you. Studios, animi, venante, all those are clearly ablative, probably going together. So when you have something that's consisting of an ablative noun and an ablative participle, probably looking at a little ablative absolute. You can make an argument for some kind of other ablative-y phrase. But I figured make it easy, just do with something like with my zealous mind hunting. Venante is a present active participle. So often for you, with my zealous mind hunting, I requierensing. We're not really sure what the subject of requierens is yet. I went ahead and guessed I, because well, it's Catullus, so always a worthy guess. So another present active participle. So often for you, searching for you, looking for you, with my zealous mind hunting, searching uti. So with requierens not necessarily being a verb that would inherently expect an indirect command, this is probably just a little purpose clause. Ut. So that possem I might mittere send the Carmina Batiadae. We've seen Batiadas before. We saw him in Catullus 7 and Catullus 65, right? This is still referring to Callimachus, our Greek poet. So the Carmina Batiadae are almost assuredly the poems of Callimachus. So searching for you so that I might be able to send the songs of Carminus. Like we saw a lot last year in Cornelius Nepos, this qui te lenire nobis is almost assuredly introducing some kind of little relative clause of something. In this case, it feels a bit more like a relative clause of purpose, just given the fact that we definitely have a subjunctive. The qui is referring probably back to the subject, as opposed to something like the carmina, which is neuter plural. And with the subject nobis, or with the subject, lenirem being first singular, it would suggest so that I might, lenirem te nobis, so that I might make you, I don't know, more lenient, more well disposed towards me. We have a nice little synthesis here with qui te lenirem nobis, which is why he wants to do that. And then with the relative clause of purpose, it's kind of weirdly paired with like a negative purpose clause, or this relative clause of purpose is going alongside, is functioning subordinated within the purpose clause that we had. So this is kind of weird. Let me see if I can draw this out a little bit. So basically we've got a little absolute, and then we have a participial phrase. So inside of our participial phrase, we have a purpose clause. Inside our purpose clause, we have a relative clause of purpose. Then we have a little conjunction with this neu, which is another purpose clause. So these two things are probably ut and ne conjoined by this we, or the we here is with that u at the end of neu. So I'm searching for you so that I might be able to send the poems of Batiatus, so that I might make you more well disposed, or so that you would conarare is kind of weird here, but a little deponent, so that you would not try to mittere teleinfesta wicked spears in usque kaput into my head. I don't think he means literally. He's worried about Gellius stabbing him in the head with a spear, but he's sort of hurling mean insults to him. It's you've seen this kind of phrase before with friendships gone wrong. Yeah, so we're still within this participial phrase. We haven't actually gotten to the main clause yet. So if we keep moving on, to recap, he's searching for this guy Gellius with a zealous mind, so that he can either send nice poems to him to make him more lenient, or so that he can at least get this guy to stop trying to hit him or hurt him. So often searching for you. ... Hunk wedeo's parts where it gets a little sad. Hunk wedeo mihi nunc. This, I think the idea here, the previous two phrases, this idea, video mihi, I see for myself, nunc, now, that, I see this now, for myself, that, with a little video, clearly introducing some sort of indirect statement. What have I seen? I see now that frustra sumptis laborum, that in vain this labor has been undertaken. So alas, all of Catullus' efforts to try and convince this guy to either be more well disposed to him or stop trying to attack him, all this work has been done in vain. Gellius, nec nostras ic valuisse preces. And the second thing is I see that that here our prayers have not grown strong. So we have both of our indirect statements. We have this sumptum esse laborem, and then we have this nec valuisse. So neither of these things have actually worked out pretty well. His labor's gone in vain, and his prayers have basically gone unanswered, have not grown strong. The last little part here, you'll note the text that I'm using is from Latin Library. It's a little dodgy. This amita is almost assuredly amisa. It's just a typo. Some of the older texts, there's a long conversation that can be had about textual transmission errors, but suffice to say here, this amita is just make it amisa from mito mitere, and it gets a lot easier to read. So, contra nos telista tuabimus amisa. So, against us, those weapons of yours, those spears of yours, we will avoid. Those spears, amisa, having been sent. So, against us, we will avoid those spears of yours having been sent. But fixus nostris, but having been fixed by our responses, something like that. Tu dabis supplicium, you will give punishment. You remember from Latin 1, chapter, I want to say chapter 1, or no, chapter 2 maybe. One of those really early ones. When you dabis supplicium, it's the same kind of thing as dabis poenon. When you give punishment, the idea is you pay the price. So he's saying that Gellius, you will pay the price, having been stuck by our responses. So it's, in the end, kind of a weird sort of way to end Catullus. We've read all of these poems about love and anger and happiness, and then it ends with, dude, I'm gonna get you because you've been mean to me and all of my responses have gone unanswered. I don't know if that feels appropriate for Catullus or what we expect, but that really comes down to the question of whether or not you view this as an episodic or a narrative, and hopefully you'll find this to be somewhat of a useful poem in terms of making your argument one way or the other. Okay, and that's all for now.